All right, we're gonna talk about Keke Palmer.
We are.
Yeah, you want to read it because you wrote the article on this one. So
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Bitter Keke Palmer blames colorism for comparisons to Zendaya.
Bitter is an understatement here. Like the language in the original like article, it's like the saltiest person I've ever seen in my entire life.
Also, I had no idea she was being compared to Zendaya. Yeah. I think she compared herself to her.
Yeah.
And then it's like,
That is
no
great.
one do that.
Picture-wise, that's a fantastic comparison because they look a lot alike in that photo. Like
do you think? I think it's just their hairstyles.
The hair and and there's some similarity around the eyes.
I think they're doing their makeup similarly, I guess.
Yeah.
The eyeshadow. I don't know.
Yeah. Over the weekend, there was a tweet that called the disparity between them one of the clearest examples of how colorism plays out in Hollywood. And it blew up, and a bunch of people started talking about them and comparing them because Zendaya is more well-known and more successful, even though she's been in it for a shorter amount of time.
Which upset Keke.
She had her breakout role, I guess, with Euphoria. I knew about both of them since they started because of Disney.
Zendaya was already like a thing.
She was already a thing, but a lot of people would say she really blew up with Euphoria.
But she was in Spider-Man. She was MJ in the Spider-Man.
Yeah,
movies.
I think the thing is she is one of those stars that like
Holland.
She gained traction with Disney and then did several projects in a row that gained a lot of attention. Like she shot something with someone else that's not very helpful, but during COVID, during lockdown, that I remember seeing a lot of press to her because they had to shoot it in kind of a unique way because of all the COVID lockdowns. I mean, she has really seemed like she's someone who like left Disney and hustled, was like, I'm going to do all the projects I can and like do a lot of things. And it's not that Keke Palmer didn't try that, but maybe just when she was at Zendaya's age, also leaving Disney, there weren't as many. Her
she
career
was in Nickelodeon too.
Yeah, her career maybe didn't have the same momentum as Zendaya's.
Yeah, I think there are so many different factors and coincidences and people, like just networking connections that you can't account for just by saying this person has this outcome because they have a lighter skin tone.
That is the
but as you can see, like Zendaya does have a lighter skin tone.
But to say that that's the reason,
they're attributing her success and then discrediting that Zendaya had like any merit.
Imagine being Zendaya and being told that that's why you were...
Also, Zendaya didn't dig Keke Palmer. She wasn't like,
no.
You guys think Keke Palmer, you're like, I'm better. Like, she has nothing to do with this, really. Also, Keke Palmer has had, like, she's sort of stayed working for a while. I feel like she's been in some stuff. I know she's, like, part of... I just saw a clip of her.
She's in Nope.
She's in Nope, and there was some meme right now that's really popular of her going, like, she's, like, asked something... She's in some interview and they slide her picture of Dick Cheney and they're like, who is this? And she's like, you guys are gonna get me in trouble. Like, this man could walk by me on the street. I don't know who he is. And it ends with her saying sorry to this man. Like,
I saw that one.
And I think that's funny. Like, I guess people quote like sorry to this man all the time. Like, I think in some ways her responding to this, like, one article that contrasted her to Zendaya is her using it to continue to gain momentum. Like, her career has stagnated a little bit, but she's in Nope again. She's like an internet meme right now. Like,
I think she wants to be one of the people on the Met Gala carpet and not the one interviewing people on the carpet.
Yeah.
I just imagine like how Zendaya must feel is what they need to understand that other people are going to feel if you tell them that the only reason you're successful is because you look a certain way.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they're saying it's not the only reason, but a significant one. And my point about this was, if you're going to call out supposed colorism for these outcomes, you're asking what if questions that you cannot possibly have answers for. You don't know how two unique careers could have gone if one little thing was changed.
That's by design. They want it to be an unanswerable question.
Yeah, so someone tweeted in response to this, Keke's net worth is $7 million and Zendaya's is $20 million. Keke has been a mainstream success since her career began and has put in substantially more work. She should be one of the highest paid entertainers in the game. So yes, it's colorism. That sounds biased.
You cannot equate something that complex to why she doesn't. Who your agent is, how long you've been working isn't as relevant as who you're connected to, who your agent is, what the projects you chose to work on were, whether you got hired on bigger projects or smaller. I hate
whether you were a good person to work with.
Yes.
As we know from her incident with Bill Murray,
Yep.
at least our best guess is she is the one who complained about Bill Murray's offensive joke.
Yeah.
On set.
Your personality will dictate whether you're going to get hired.
Maybe Zendaya is nicer to work with.
Yes.
I also think Zendaya might.
Thank you.
Oh, wow. Woo! I also think that Zendaya might have like more. She might be a more versatile talent than.
I'm not sure because I've seen clips of her in Euphoria and she still acts like she's in a Disney show.
Right, but like she also went on Dancing with the Stars. Like she did a lot of work in like the fashion line because she's built like a very thin supermodel. Like she has done.
She's also a dancer and a singer.
That's
and
what
an
I mean.
actress.
Like I don't know that Keke Palmer isn't those things.
I'm pretty sure Keke Palmer does make music though.
Yeah, but like she's not a like. When I first started seeing Zendaya, I knew she had been in Disney stuff, which I didn't watch, but like I started seeing her get picked up for ads for like Burberry or like different luxury brands. And again, like she has like she's very beautiful. They're both pretty, but like Zendaya like is so thin, she just looks like a runway model. I think in some ways like she had maybe more opportunities to keep momentum behind her career, but I don't necessarily think it's colorism. It's just that she is a different person.
She's maybe more marketable for other reasons than
right.
just that.
It feels like trying to say like, does Brenda Song, who was in a bunch of Disney stuff, should her career be as successful as Constance Wu, another Asian American actress who got cast in like Crazy Rich Asians? I
thought Brenda Song kind of like left Hollywood. Like, didn't she?
Was that by choice?
Yeah, I
like,
thought
did she get blacklisted for some reason?
I've heard that she just like after Disney Channel, like I don't think she got blacklisted. Like it's just like after you stop being a kid actor on Disney Channel,
maybe
like,
you
what
don't want to
happens
do that
to
for
your
the rest of
career?
your life.
I think it actually is hard to get off, like because like Disney Channel is like starting off in like a steady salary job and then having to jump out to being like, I'm gonna audition for stuff, I'm gonna do whatever. I read this thing once that Brenda Song said like she didn't even get the opportunity to read for Crazy Rich Asians, even though it was like a huge deal and at the time was being lauded for having an only Asian cast, because she was considered too American. Like she wasn't considered Asian
weird.
enough. Like
just proving to you that these people are.
Nothing is good enough.
I can never explain it. And also like that should tell you just the amount of people vying for the same opportunities in these industries. Like unless you are really creating momentum behind your name and well known, like it's, even if you have done previous solid work, it's easy to fall by the wayside. I think that's sort of really what happened to Keke Palmer.
I hate the notion that whenever they talk about these things, that it's designed to be an unanswerable question full of ambiguous concepts that cannot be rightly answered because it makes it uncomfortable and angry for everyone.
And if you don't agree with their conclusions to that unanswerable question,
to their
you lack compassion.
To their subjective conclusion, you are now not compassionate and a bad person.
This is what the original post responded to that comment about their net worths. If these numbers are accurate, then something really has to be done.
Yes, maybe Keke needs to hire a new agent.
Yeah, or go on stand up. Like the sorry to this man thing is so funny. Like her presentation of that line, she's naturally comic. Like maybe she's not pursuing the right roles, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe she's not cultivating her YouTube or Instagram platform to create fans on that, you know what I mean? Like there's so many things performers can do. Like I just don't think
everything that's come up about Keke Palmer like since I've been here has been kind of negative.
I'm gonna bring.
But that's to your point. Like maybe she's difficult to work with.
Yeah.
Ads for Lancome, ads for Bulgari, and then we have Spider-Man. Spider-Man No Way Home. So Spider-Man, massive franchise. Dune, massive franchise. The Greatest Showman, not a massive franchise, but
Greatest Showman. That was the thing she did.
Okay, so everything she's in, Euphoria becomes a massive hit. She is hitting home runs every time she chooses a project, which increases her ability to ask for more money within the next project she works on.
Yeah.
Keke Palmer has had success, but Nope just came out. It was #1 at the box office.
It's doing well.
And it's doing well. And getting to work with Jordan Peele will hopefully boost her ability to ask for more at the next contract. Lightyear, before that, Lightyear didn't do that great and was marred with a certain amount of controversy. Human Resources, I've never seen. Alice, I've never seen. Big Mouth, I'm never watching.
I originally knew her from Jump In on Disney.
Yes.
And then True Jackson VP on Nickelodeon. I only saw her in those like childhood shows.
And she was in Scream, the TV series, and I don't remember that, so that must have been in the last season that I didn't see.
She was also in Scream Queens.
So that's actually that was a very good or big show when it came out. That was
they had Ariana Grande
It's
on that.
funny because I've heard people say that doing horror in Hollywood is a sign that your career isn't doing well. But then there's like a whole culture around like horror TV shows.
You can make like a good
niche
living,
career,
but you like a lot of them do the convention circuit, and that becomes attributed to who they are, right? So I just she
I
is
need
not.
to read her tweets because they're so infuriating.
Okay. We haven't even gotten into like the stuff she like. I'm now I feel bad.
So
like,
what did
guys,
she say about
we
this?
did not hook this very well. You have to read the stuff that she
said.
Read the stuff. It's great.
A great example of colorism is to believe I can be compared to anyone. I'm the youngest talk show host ever, the first black woman to star in her own show on Nickelodeon, and the youngest and first black Cinderella on Broadway. I'm an incomparable talent. Baby, this is Keke Palmer.
But why wouldn't you want to hire her?
Well, look, like, cool, girl, you did a lot of stuff. Like,
Another thing
that
she
should be the
said,
end of this conversation. How much do we need to talk about this?
I've been a leading lady since I was 11 years old. I have over 100 plus credits and currently starring in an original screenplay that's the #1 film at the box office, Nope. I've had a blessed career thus far. I couldn't ask for more, but God continues to surprise me.
The second one feels very out of touch.
That's
with
not the
first
same
one.
tone as the first
Not even
tweet
close.
at all.
How far apart did she post them? One's at 7:30.
One's at
Same thing. I think she
it's a
posted them
thread.
at the same time.
So there's like 4-minute difference. I wonder if she wrote the first one and is like,
That was going a little
okay,
too far.
wait a minute, gotta dial it back.
Walk
All
it
credit
back,
to
walk it
God.
It
Yeah.
proves that the projects you choose and what your hit record is with the projects you choose plays a large role in what you're going to make in Hollywood. Everything I just mentioned of Zendaya was a hit, right? And she wins this comparison without even trying. Like, and I don't mean to sound rude to Keke Palmer, but Zendaya is a more famous and more like, she's also dating Tom Holland, who's an A-list star in Hollywood right now. She seems to be making all the right choices to further her career, whereas she's kind of just complaining about
Right.
Well, okay, it might be because Zendaya has better management or like people who are around her who are better able to advocate for her, who like say, hey, don't take that thing, take this thing or whatever. I mean, I think people would argue with you, Brett, like, shouldn't theoretically, like, it sounds weird and I feel uncomfortable saying this, but like, people would say, like, they're in similar age groups and they have a similar look, so wouldn't they be auditioning for the same roles? But I think is, to your point, very quickly after getting off of Disney, she did several hits, and then I think at that point she became a coveted talent. People ask specifically for Zendaya.
They're just in different brackets.
different.
One's an A-lister, one's a B+ lister or a B lister.
Yeah.
Like, that's all this is here. In Zendaya, like, there's the quotes from Zendaya where she says, previously touched on colorism, and she does. I get frustrated with that the same way I get frustrated with Jessica Alba saying that the Marvel movies are too Caucasian, which also made me roll my eyes because of her. You know, they always make these quotes 20 years later after she made her career as a Hispanic, a Latina actress, right? So they make it down the line later after they've made their money, and then they pull the ladder up behind them. But she says, as a black woman, as a light-skinned black woman, it's important that I'm using my privilege, my platform, to show you how much beauty there is in the African American community, she said during a conversation with Uber's chief brand officer, Bazoma St. John. It's like
She said, I'm Hollywood's, I guess you could say, acceptable version of a black girl, and that has to change.
But is Keke Palmer not an acceptable version of a black girl? Is that what they're saying?
What she's saying is she's Hollywood's version of acceptable, which I don't think is true, because Keke Palmer has had a very successful
Yes.
career. She just wants to only appreciate it in comparison to somebody else. Like, she can only celebrate her arbitrary milestones for her whole race,
Yes.
rather than her own achievements in the roles she's landed.
And I talk about that
Her
all the
own
time.
talents.
The concept of representation from Hollywood is the most vain and narcissistic concept in the world, because they don't actually care about helping other people that look like them. They care that they're being lauded as some type of representative for a whole group of people, which to me is peak narcissism.
Yeah, and the resentment from Keke Palmer is so palpable in her comments that you can tell she's not this, like, you know, validation from within person she is posing as.
Yep.
It's very
Thank
clearly
you.
her comparing herself more than anyone else is comparing her.
And it's like, there's so much resentment whenever maybe that's why I hate these topics so much, is it's always surrounded by a thick wall of resentment and disdain from the people talking about it. Like, when it's positive, it's a form of narcissism, in which they're talking about how great they are, how much they're changing the world, making the choices that they're making. When you're an actor, realistically, the people changing the world would be the producers that are choosing to hire you, if anything. Not that I ever want to give the producers credit for anything, because they're evil too. But I'm not saying the celebrities are evil. The producers have I do think that making these conversations where Zendaya can't win this argument. She has to self-flagellate to get out of this ahead,
And
right?
she's having the merits of her own career taken away from her. in
Which is
the
insulting,
process.
and should be insulting to anyone who has worked as hard as she has worked to get where she is.
Yeah.
So, thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.
Bye.